Hi, my name is Sarah, your English teacher for today, and you're watching Eigo Love English. In today's lesson video, we'll be looking at the two words neither and either. When do we use them? What's the difference? Let's start by looking at the pronunciation. You can say this word like either or either. Either, either. You can say this word like neither or neither. Neither, neither. Both pronunciations are okay. I personally say either and neither, which is what I hear most used within the United States. When using either, we have to remember this structure. Either noun or noun. And we use this when we're choosing between two options. It's very important to know that it's between only two options, not three or more. For example, either Christina or John will drive. This means there are two possible outcomes. Christina will be the driver or John will be the driver. Only one of them will end up driving. So two situations are possible here. Either Christina or John will drive. There are three other ways that we can structure this in the same context. If the nouns are already identified, meaning we already know that we're talking about Christina or John, we can use either like this. Christina and John are here. Either one will drive. One is referring to the two nouns identified, Christina or John. This is used so we don't have to repeat ourselves when the nouns are already identified. The second way we can structure this is by saying, Christina and John are here. Either one of them will drive. Here we're simply just adding of them to our before structure. Either one of them and either one mean the same thing and can be used interchangeably. The third and final way we can structure this is by saying, Christina and John are here. Either of them will drive. So what are we doing here? We're just getting rid of one. Either of them will drive. So all three structures here have exactly the same meaning, and you can use them interchangeably if you want to. Neither, on the other hand, is a negative word. A good way to remember that this is negative is in for neither and in for negative. When we use neither, we want to remember this structure. Neither noun nor noun. Nor is just the negative way to say or, and because neither is negative, we have to use the negative or. This structure is used to deny two choices or statements. For example, neither Christina nor John will drive. Again, there's only two options that we're choosing from here. But Christina won't drive and John won't drive. So, neither Christina nor John will drive. So both options are unavailable. We're denying that both Christina and John can drive. Just like with either, neither can be structured in three additional ways. And it's the exact same. We just have to make it negative. So, when the nouns are already identified in the sentence, we can use neither like this. Christina and John are here. Neither one will drive. Christina and John may be here in our presence, but for some reason, they cannot drive or have decided not to drive. Neither of them can drive. So we cannot pick any of the two options available. Again, we use this structure just so we don't have to repeat the nouns in our next sentence. Do you remember the second structure? Christina and John are here. Neither one of them will drive. Remember, we're just adding of them to this structure. And the last structure, Christina and John are here. Neither of them will drive. Here we're just dropping the one and you're done. Neither of them will drive. Again, these structures can be used interchangeably and have the exact same meaning. What if I said, I don't think tea is better than coffee? If you agree with me, if you also don't think that tea is better than coffee, then you could say, me neither. Neither do I. Or, I don't either. But why? Isn't neither a negative word? Wouldn't you use it to disagree? That's not the case. Neither is a negative word used to agree with a negative statement. When I say, I don't think tea is better than coffee, you cannot respond with, me too, or so do I, because these statements aren't negative. This is when you use neither. We can use the statement, I don't either here because don't makes the statement negative. I don't think so either. For example, I don't like ketchup. Me neither. I don't want to go to class today. Neither do I. I don't have any homework today. I don't either. That's all for today's English lesson. Thanks for watching. What do you think? If you liked the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe for more English learning content. Hope to see you next time here on Eigo Love English.